Hello, Southern Tier. Welcome to Off the Record from the Reporter, Delaware County, New York's leading news source. I'm Andrew Cantor with a preview of some of the stories you'll find in print and online in this week's edition. This edition of Off the Record is brought to you by Decker Advertising. You might have heard there's an election coming up. What better way to show support for your candidate than with a banner, lawn sign, or car magnet? When the official signs aren't the right size or don't send exactly the message you want, give a call to Decker Advertising and get the banners, signs, magnets, or even hats or t-shirts with your custom message. They'll even help you make sure it looks great. Don't put up a bland Trump or Harris sign when you can do it bigger and better with Decker Advertising. Get a free estimate and maybe some great ideas too. Call them at 607-746-2178 or visit dckr.com. And now here's some of what you'll read about this week. Delaware County had a computer security incident where the personal information of about 1,600 county residents was stolen, and yes, that includes names and social security numbers. The actual incident occurred October 9th, 2023, but the county waited 9 months to notify the people whose information was stolen. Worse, the notification letters were postmarked from West Sacramento, California, so they kind of look like junk mail. Oh, and the county still hasn't posted any information on its website or social media accounts, which has concerned some residents. County officials say they've now increased their computer security, but didn't say why they hadn't increased it sooner. The officials also say they have no evidence the stolen information has been used for nefarious purposes. A whole bunch of kids in Walton were fingerprinted and photographed by police, but it was part of what they call Operation Safe Shield. It's a nationwide thing where law enforcement gets photos and fingerprints from kids, with their parents' permission, and holds onto them just in case. If, God forbid, the kid ever disappears, the information might help find them, and of course, law enforcement always likes to have fingerprints on file. Walton's new code enforcement officer, Zach Haverly, is not happy at all with the state of the Dollar General parking lot on Water Street. The potholes are legion, and some of them are as big as a small truck, according to reports. Mayor Ed Snow says the property owner has just been stringing them along for 6 months and promising repairs, so now it is time for an ultimatum. The ultimatum says the owner has until August 30th to make repairs, or Haverly, who is not to be messed with, will shut it down. The Watershed Agricultural Council in Walton is renewing its partnership with the New York City Department of Environmental Protection, and this time it's a 10-year contract instead of just 5, because apparently the folks down there really trust the folks up here. The WAC is kind of a go-between between the city's water department and the agricultural community in the watershed. It works with the city to make sure the water stays clean while protecting the interests of farmers and loggers, and sometimes getting them paid for helping out. Having a 10-year contract means the WAC will be able to think long-term for its programs, which ends up being good for everyone. And if you're curious, the WAC is funded by the New York City Department of Environmental Protection, the USDA, and the U.S. Forest Service. And now we turn to Looking Back. News from the Reporter 100 years ago this week. Members of Party on Wrecked Handcar save lives of companions. About 4 o'clock last Wednesday night, as our signalman, Jacob Werner, and his 2 battery men, Irvin Snyder and Howard Zern, were returning from work on their powered handcar, it jumped the track between Dong Eddy and the Basket Bridge. The car was going at a medium speed, and it is thought there was some obstruction on the rails. All the men were thrown, and each one was injured. Jake Werner retained consciousness and was able to pull the other 2 men off the track just in time to escape an extra-fast milk train. Some women who were picking berries saw the accident and telephoned to Dong Eddy to send help. The trackmen went at once with a speeder and brought the injured men home. Jake Werner fainted as soon as he had gotten the other men off the truck. The doctor was summoned and came very soon. The village board has designated Gardner Place and the Smith and St. John lot, adjoining the old Chronicle building on Delaware Street, as parking places for automobiles. Many automobile owners leave their cars for hours in front of business places and interfere with customers who wish to drive up to a store, do their trading, and leave in a few minutes. Returning to 2024, there's plenty more in this week's issue of The Reporter. This week includes our annual guide to the Delaware County Fair, a whopping 64 pages, exhibitions, contests, music, events, and, of course, all things agriculture. You'll see what makes the Delaware County Fair one of the best, if not the best, agricultural fair in the state. Heck, could be the entire Northeast. The fair guide is an insert to this week's print edition, and it'll be on newsstands Thursday, August 8th, and subscribers can read it online at thereporter.net. Remember, to get all the news that matters to you and your Delaware County community, subscribe to The Reporter at the-reporter.net or call 607-464-4009. We'll see you next week.